So this is one of them jobs where I came to quote, and we all do, 5:30, 6 at night. It was really hot outside. I stopped playing with the kids. I was like, oh God, I forgot about this quote. I've got to go and get it. Came, walked around, everything was fine, happy days. Customer was like, yep, cool. Obviously, I've got a bit more of a story behind it with another spark as well. Priced it up. Now I'm here to do it. How wrong I was. How wrong I was with the effort. How the moods changed from me having a lovely day when I quoted it and it was sunny and it was lovely. And then now, looking at how much a pain in the ass is going to be, completely changed. And I'll show you why. So currently here we are in the garage. Old board, armor cable fed, double socket, which then leads to those extension leads, and classic prefab garage wiring. This is usual that we see day in, day out. The other side of this is a summer house. So we've got the summer house, which is a art studio that's just been put up together. Really nice. It's like MDF style, and on the outside it's like MDF plastic coated. Really, I've not seen it before. It's really nice stuff. We've got a light switch, which would be a fuse spur to go in here. We've got a double socket down there, and underneath here we've got a USB double socket going in with a light fitting. Down this tiny little hole is where I'm going to bring out some rigid solid 20mm conduit. It's going to bridge across, come down, and the plan was to do like a T-box. So it'll come through, go down, through box here, which will go through to the fuse spur to come back out, and then the cable will come back out and through the T-box, coming out this way up to the light fitting, and then down to a right angle box or a bend through to a through box to a socket going here to come all the way around this corner to go to the USB socket there. But the issue I've got with this is, this is the wide bit. I then got a fence panel, and I thought when we were doing it we could pull the panel out, but that is screwed to the garage, and then that is screwed in from this side of the fence before it was built. So I can't pull the fence panel out because I can't get to these screws. So I'm going to have to try and pass conduit up and over, and then try and do it like through the gaps. And here's the other side of it. Obviously, that's what you just saw me, tiny little alleyway down there, which I'm glad I've lost some weight, to be honest. But for the supply, so I'll get onto the electrician. The electrician said, this needs a new board upgrade, potentially a cable going across, this, that, and the other. And I was agreeing with him to start with. Not that he was here, what the customer was saying. Bear with me, my mum's ringing me. Right, where was I? Oh, God, I like being tall, but at the same point, everything's out to kill me all the time. I just got clotheslined by this a minute ago. Anyway, so the other spark was saying he wants a new board in, potentially a new cable for the supply in there. It's 2 sockets, the customers use it as an art room. One's gonna have a lamp on, 2 a light, which are all LEDs, maybe a little fan heater in the winter, depending how cold it gets in there. It's a well-insulated room, but you know what it's like, English winters. And I said, yes, I would agree normally, but once I saw the fuse board inside, it's got a brand new 18th edition. This is off its own RCBO. So this is off the boiler circuit. It's a 16 amp B-type, type A RCBO, off this armoured, coming from there. I said on the quote, I said, if this tests all right and it works fine, I'll happily just come off this board, off this socket, so it's off the socket circuit. We can do a minor work certificate for this because we're just altering a socket, not running a brand new one. There's only one socket in here which has got extension leads on. The maximum stuff that's on here at one time is the guy's radio, which I've just moved, which was here, and the strip light, which is behind me. So the load side isn't a lot. Load side in there is not going to be a lot. I've got the tester out. I'm going to confirm that we've got good readings on the RCD side of it. We've got well below readings that we need on our ZS within this circuit. The armor cable goes down and comes up under a gravel path, so I know that's absolutely fine. It's a very short distance. So we're going to do this first to verify that I can use it. If not, things are going to change a little bit. I can still carry on with the stuff I want to do in there today, but we're just not power up. So let's do this together. Let's see how it works. I'm still having issues from the last video with the tester, but I've spoke to the calibration center and there is a new update for this, which will fix apparently all of my issues above. Z, RCD, 3-wire. Off the top of my head, maximum permitted ZS on a B-type 16 amp. I want to say it's, Jesus, well, it's well below that. Top of my head, I know a 20 amp is like 1.84, so a 16 amp is like 2.18. I don't know, I can be making figure. I will put it on the screen here, but that's well below. let me just do an RCD test. I can't put you on the side. I'm going to do the auto one, generate everything, run inside, flicker that up, and yeah. RCD, sweet. I'll put it on the screen now. So from that, we verified the cable is sound. The load side that we're going to be putting on, a 16 amp especially, is fine. Obviously, if we overload it and they put a heater on there, a heater in here, and they decide to use a hedge cutter that's plugged in on here, we're going to trip the circuit. Worst case scenario, we'll overload it, it will trip, we can reset. It's a safety device that's put in there for a reason. We could always upgrade the 16 amp to a 20 amp if we wanted to as well. It's a 2.5mm cable, but I'm going to pull the front of the board off now, have a look at that, obviously isolate it in the inside, and then we can start drilling. I'm very tempted to go and get, well, I should get the pain in the arse stuff done to start with, so I'll explain that in a minute. It isn't very often I show off the locking off procedure. I'm not going to lie to you lot, I don't do it all the time. I know other sparks don't, I'd rather be honest, but as and when I can to show good practice to you guys, I should do it from now on, and I will try, I promise. Need that one, and I'll show you what we're going to do. I'll use this one. Right, we got that off. The arm has been glanded nicely. It's got a banjo on it. It's all earthed. Happy days. I say it's two circuits. You've got the line circuit, you've got the socket circuit. So what I've brought, I'm going to take this off. I'm going to get rid of this. I've got a metal bushing coupler with a metal clad double socket. It's then going to come down to a metal clad ISO, which will allow me to then just put my conduit up and over, or depending what I want to do with it, to then go out of this roof space straight across. But let me just fart around with this for a minute. This is one for you. So in theory, obviously I'm doing a minor works because I'm altering a circuit, which I am. I'm not adding a new circuit, but essentially what I've done is just removed the socket, which was the only thing on that circuit to put a new socket in, but I'm going to leave the existing cable in place, obviously on the 20 amp fuse that it is. So we've still got the original circuit in place. I'm just doing an addition to the circuit. That would class itself in my eyes as a minor work certificate. I think if I was to remove this, if I was to remove this and replace this, even though it's an existing circuit that's just having a new cable, technically that would be classed as a new install in my eyes with a full EIC. But let me know your thoughts. Just thought I'd put it out there. I'm not gonna lie guys, you're on my neck, and I just, there's the pipe. Plan is L-box, that's not an L-box, a T-box on that bit. One to go up, join onto the light, obviously one to go down for the sockets and to the light switch, but I'm just struggling to get in to even show you what I'm doing. I'm trying to put the camera on the floor, hang on. I hope you can see me. I really wanted to use the bending spring as much as possible, but I don't know if it's cheaper conduit, which it shouldn't be because it's stuff I bought before. I have a horribly sneaky suspicion that the spring is too big for a 20mm piece of conduit, but then would a 25mm spring fit in a 20mm conduit? I don't know. I bent it once, it crinkled like hell. I then used the heat gun on it to give it a bit more of an oomph. It snapped instantly. So I've managed to do one more bend, which is this one here. But I've had to do an elbow, so I was going to do a bend, so it's all one continuous thing, but I physically can't, it's not allowing me. But if I can minimise joints this end for water, then that's what we'll do. Got the spirit level to make sure we got this level bit in. I'm not going to put these screws in all the way because I genuinely don't know how thick this wall is. I need to go measure that first. So that's pitched in place, that's level, that's solid. Right, now what I need to do, up is absolutely fine, if you can see that going up to the light, which is on this side of this purlin. Now I need to go down, drill through for the light switch. I told the customer the way these bevels are on all this sort of stuff, I'm not going to be able to put the light switch by the front door. It's going to be mid-wall. Absolutely fine with that. Just because this is completely in the way, and where you want to put the light switch is the concrete upright for the fence. And then go down to the socket, and then across to you guys. So, yeah, right. Just running through my little adventure we've got going on here. The walls are 4 centimeters thick, 40 mil, in case to other people. I'm going to mark down center of the through box, which is going to bring me in line. We're going to do a tiny little pilot bit through to the inside to mark out for our light switch. Go all the way down, do the same thing for the socket. We're going to go on the inside and do a 32 mil hole. Sorry, this is a 30 mil hole saw. This will allow me to get the bush and coupler to be able to couple the socket, the back of the patras to the through boxes on the inside to do as much seal as possible. There's so many other ways you can do this. You could just drill straight through and just push the cable through into the back of the back box. But with this, with water ingress, I'm going to be putting, I've got loads of CT1. I'm going to gunk everything up to try and make sure there's no water physically possible. So as and when I screw the through boxes back to the wall, there's going to be a bead on that to seal that in. And at the same time, on the inside of the hole that I'm going to cut out on the wood, when I feed the conduit through, there's going to be silicone in that just to stop any water getting in, because I know what MDF's like. Over the years, if this does get water in it, I don't know if it's treated on the inside or whatever, but I'm going to do everything physically possible why I don't get a phone call in 5 years. It goes, oh, you know them new sockets you put in 4 or 5 years ago? Yeah. Yeah, it's let water in and the whole wall's ruined, so can I have some money? I'll be like, oh. So silicone is our friend. I'm just going to ask the customer if this is staying, or I can just take a multi-tool to it and just rip it the hell apart. Because he did say he was about moving something at a later date, but this is going to make my job hours longer. And now I've got this stuck. And I can't even bend down to get my drill. I'll just let you know, magnets must tell me your friends, but when it does something like this, it takes the drill bit out of your pocket and then you go and look for it everywhere. It's always worth asking the customer, because he wants it out of the way anyway. Wish I'd asked to start with, but here we go. Right, so we've got that coming on. I've cut these down, but I'm going to have to pull them out a little bit more because they're not flush. This will allow me here and here to cut a hole in the back of these to put the bushes through, to have that sat on there like that, so it's all tied in, and then I can put a good chunk of silicone in and around that and drill it to going across. But I'm just going to pull this out this side. I really can't film in here. I can't even put this on my neck. I'm just squished to hell. So the way I've done these is I can pull this way, either trim some more off this or trim this down ever so slightly and then
push that back in. I'm going to get the silicone gun. I'm just going to put some metal saddles up and across here, one up there, one up here already, and then I can get this all screwed back.
Many sweaty, hot hours later in this tiny little hole. I finished this bit, but I'm not 100% happy with how it looks, and you'll agree with me with this. I've just shown the customer, absolutely fine, love it, cool, thank you very much. Don't pick it up like we do with Sparks because of the way it's installed. So I'll show you what I've done and what I'm going to do different now, just to see if I can alter it to make it look better. But yeah, I want everyone to let me know your thoughts on this. So we've got, you can see up here, that's going in there, that's going in there, lovely. I've done a drain hole in the very bottom left-hand box. I've put silicone in and around on the top of each joint going through, that one, and that one, so we get no ingress of water through the top. If there is any that ever that gets in there, it's going to travel down through to the drain hole. This is all fine. This bit sucked. This concrete post is being ripped out at some point, but for today I've just smashed a bit out so I can put the conduit in. But my issue bit is here. So you've obviously got these joining panels that go up and over, but it makes my conduit go like this, which I'm not, oh, sorry for that focus. Obviously it bubbles in and it bubbles out. And then it's exactly the same for this side, bubble in, bubble out. If I had the spring and bend that worked, potentially we could get around this, potentially fix it, but as you say, it's one of the things, it's on the back of a shed, no one ever sees it, and it's worked. What I'm going to do, not on this side because it's okay, because it's a flat bit and there's not a lot we can help with the pinching of the panel, but with these three saddles here, here and here, I'm going to unscrew them. I'm going to cut a piece of 20mm conduit behind to space out the same thickness as this, and then put some bigger screws in to bring that all level, so that's all flush with that. So that's what I'm going to change, so bear with me and we'll see if it looks any better. Right, I've just redone it with some spacings. A little bit better, but what it is, you still got the bend now because I can't get rid of this corner piece and I don't want to cut into the corner of the summer house. But yeah, let me know what you think. What would you do? Finally have some cables in. So here we've got the Earthshore stuff, and for once Earthshore isn't meant to be any thicker insulation. That's what it was sold as. So you know, the 1.5 is the same thickness as 1.5, but the 2.5, I don't know if you can see that, it is, the other drum I had wasn't, but this one is a lot squarer. So we had fun bringing it through, but we have got two in here and the 1mm, or the 1.5, whatever it is, which will be a fuse switch burr down to 3 amp for the lighting circuit. The cable down here, all the way through, glanded, sealed, silicone, all the other side, that's level. And then we've got the one over there as well for the USB. And then on top here, we drill through up at an angle to allow the hole to come out the top for an M box to come through so the fitting can sit nicely without chopping anything on the fitting. That's coming across, and this is having to be a bit of a different angle. I've chopped this one in half on the back side to allow me to get as close to the ceiling as possible to get the gradient. It's slightly different on there, but there wasn't a lot I could have done. Hence the corner, the conduit box. If this conduit box was the hole up here to allow me for this, great, but it doesn't, so I had to go centre across and then make my own angle going down, and then I've chopped the end of the conduit to match in with the wall as well, so we can put a bit of cork or filler in that if we really wanted to, then wipe it all down afterwards with a big wipe to get rid of my fingerprints everywhere. Last but not least, just silicone the hole up for the conduit running over. I'm just putting the box lids on. You can see here where I've put the silicone in and around the top of all of them, and I can try and show you the little drain hole in there going up. Oh, big wipe juice in my eye. Power's all on, tested. Just fill out the minor works. We've just got a ZS down here, which was 0.56 at the furthest point, which is pretty good on a 2.5mm cable. Obviously bouncing off one thing to another just to get rid of my fingerprints, and then I can send the customer the invoice with my minor works attached. The good thing about this, I've not done this for a long time. I use Traderify, which is my job management software, which I've sponsored the channel now for, Jesus, 4 years. And I think especially now with the ADHD diagnosis and the medication I'm on, I don't think I would have continued being self-employed unless I'd a trader had approached me and I went out my way to physically learn to use it. With the old school way, with pen and paper, the way I used to do, it just didn't work. It worked enough to a point to get me through to earn what I could be in the Spark, but not to the next level. And then again, obviously, when I took Adam on, I had to get more work in. It's done me so much good over the past couple of years, and it continues to. Like I say, I'm doing the subcontracting for Mitch, doing the EV stuff. He's booking it in his end, coming through to my Tradeify. I just literally click accept. Same as the other things you need to know. So Tradeify is 30% off for the first 3 months, or it's a 14-day free trial. Check it out down below and enjoy. And I guarantee, if you were stuck in the old school way that I used to, and once you, I would say, spend 4 or 5 hours learning it, how the system works, you'll never go back. There we have it. That's on, lid's on, USB double socket, fabulous. This dual socket, fabulous. Don't leave this, that's expensive. Put the extension lead back on. I know, it's not mine. Isolation switch, I fitted this so we've got a point of isolation, so for the summer house with a neon, so it's easy indicator to see if it's on or off, just in case at some point if they're leaving the house, going on holiday, they can turn it off knowing that all the electric is isolated in there. So we've got the conduit going up and silicon through. Our new double socket, obviously off the fuse board. It's all tested hunky-dory. We've still got a ZS here, and we've got our RCD trip time for the 16 amp that side, and we've also got ourselves a ZE. So my lyric certificate is all filled out, like I said. Easy peasy, lock and off kit, haven't forgotten that. Let's jump in the van. They've asked me to, I've got 6 spotlights to quote up now, and a loft light and everything while I'm there, and then there's more stuff that they want to do in the future. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that one. It was a bit of a pain, but obviously things got a bit easy with the fence moving. If you enjoyed the video, smash a like, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I've not said that for a while, and I'll see you on the next one. Love you, bye.